is currently en route to Mexico to meet with Mexican President Peña Nieto. President Secretary Sean Spicer was asked earlier today if this trip is a cleanup job. He says it isn't. Take a listen.
I would argue that we have a very healthy and robust relationship with the Mexican government and Mexican officials, and I think they would echo that same sentiment. President Peña Nieto has echoed that as well, but I think the relationship with Mexico is phenomenal right now, and I think there's an unbelievable and robust dialogue between our two nations.
Well, that's not what the press says, but we know the press hasn't told you everything in the past. Here now is Anna Quintana. She is the Heritage Foundation Latin American Policy Analyst. So, Anna, first of all, let's just look at the trade stats. Mexico heavily depends on the United States. They send about $294 billion worth of goods to the United States. That's 1/4 of its entire economy. The GDP of Mexico is about $1.1 trillion. More than a quarter of their economy is reliant on trade with us. We've got them over a barrel, right? I mean, they don't have any kind of bargaining position. They have to do what we tell them.
Well, essentially, right? I mean, it's clear that we have overwhelmingly benefited from the bilateral relationship, and I think moving forward, kind of in the negotiations as to the renegotiation of NAFTA and kind of the recalibration of the U.S.-Mexico relationship, where we will and rightfully prioritize issues of border security and immigration. I mean, we undoubtedly have the upper hand, and we're negotiating from a position of power. And I mean, it feels great to know that we have a president, right, who's taking advantage of that for sure.
Yeah. They need us more than we need them. Let's talk about the wall, though, and for the moment, put aside the issue of who's going to pay for it. The fact is that a lot of Mexicans are here in the United States. They send money back to Mexico. I've heard $24 billion, some figure like that. A huge part of their economy is the money sent back. If we put up a strong wall and we deport a lot of the illegals that are here now, they lose that money. That money dries up. That's not good, right?
Well, I think remittances have definitely, the remittances from families in the United States to families in Mexico have definitely helped alleviate and kind of take the burden off of the Mexican government, whether it's been social services or whatever. And I think if we should rightfully, right, and like President Trump has rightfully said, we are looking to deport the criminal aliens. We are looking for people who are violent criminals. And I think that should definitely be the priority. And I think regardless of whatever
some of those meth dealers have a lot of money they're sending back to Mexico, but you're right.
100%, yes. No, of course, 100%. I mean, there's definitely a lot of money in the illicit narcotics industry. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and we definitely got to go after it.
Let me ask the $20 billion question. Who does pay for the wall?
I mean, I think border security is something that, and updating the border, right, and making the border more efficient is something both countries definitely need to look at. I mean, NAFTA has been in place for like 20-some-odd years. We definitely need to update NAFTA, and we need to recognize, I mean, border security, Mexico, the Mexican government undoubtedly recognizes the importance of border security. Look at what they're doing on their southern border with Guatemala. I mean, that's the reason why we're not seeing the number of Central American migrants coming. And whatever form the wall takes place.
In some ways, they have a much tighter immigration control policy than we do. You try to get a job if you're a foreigner in Mexico. Good luck. That's all I can say. We got to leave it at that. Anna Quintana.
100%, yeah.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming in.
Well, predicting a split for the GOP, Democratic Minority Leader